The next approach we will be looking at is the Kodály approach. Kodály was a prominent Hungarian composer, musician, and teacher. He taught at the Liszt Academy, where he noticed some students singing folk songs with very poor quality and thought that the way that music was taught in lower schools should be changed. He started composing for children choruses and had his students at the Liszt Academy do the same. Jeannot Adams was his colleague, and together they began working in 1935 to design a new music curriculum and new teaching methods. The Kodály method started to gain popularity in Hungary in 1945 and became very successful in primary schools. After about 15 years, almost half of the schools in Hungary included daily music classes. 1958 was the first year that the Kodály method was introduced internationally. It was widely popular, and today Kodály-based methods are still used around the world. Kodály believed that music helps a child develop intellectual, emotional, physical, social, and spiritual aspects. He believed that everyone has a right to learn music and should take advantage of that right. He really wanted to instill a love and understanding of music in everyone. The Kodály method really tries to focus on developing the innate musical nature of all human beings, rather than to teach something that is unnatural. Kodály wanted people to learn to love and appreciate music at a young age so that that love and appreciation could continue to grow. Kodály also advocated music being taught as a core subject, as music is a big part of the history of a country, and therefore will have a great impact on the future of a nation. With it being a core subject, he really wanted everything used in music courses to be of high quality, including the music that is written for the courses and the instruments being used as well, because if students aren't using something of higher quality, they cannot produce something of high quality. The way students learn through the Kodály method is based on the way students grow. They start with basic movements and songs that eventually become more complex. They start with something very small, such as just a song that they learn by rote, and they gradually add more complex things to it. The Kodály method mostly involves songs, solfege, hand symbols, and rhythmic syllables such as ta and ti. Each element is gradually added on until the student learns the intended concept. So if they're trying to learn music notes and how to write them, they would start off with a song and then gradually add symbols that would represent the music that are located in the correct pitch area, such as like high versus low, and they would eventually add on to it until they can see the music as notated as we would see music today. Most of the songs that are used are typically simple folk songs, and they're pentatonic in nature. The rhythmic movement often accompanies the songs learned by the students. A concept of rhythmic movement was inspired by Dalcroze. The Kodály method is very similar to the Suzuki method and simple music, in that the students learn to play or sing before learning the actual notation of the music. They usually learn songs by rote by listening to their teacher and following along, and then they just add on to it as previously stated. Teachers use these 5 phases: prepare, make conscious, reinforce, practice, and create in order to teach students. The prepare phase is where the teacher prepares the students by teaching them the song. So they would start out by singing the song or doing the rhythmic movements and having the students imitate what they're doing. The teacher then would make the students aware of the element that they are learning. They would, if they're learning things about phrases, they would first sing the song or move to the piece, and perhaps change movement when the phrase changes, but they wouldn't be aware of that until afterwards. The teacher would then call attention to what they were doing and when they were doing it and how they were doing it. The reinforcement stage allows students to write and read the pattern and then explore and expand through movement. They can, so if they would learn a song or learn a piece, they would then write about what they think the song is about or draw what they hear in the song. The practice phase allows students to apply the concept to other elements. They would transfer their knowledge. So that means that they would, say, learn a phrase in one song and learn the movement to it, and then learn a new concept with a new song with new movements, and the teacher would perhaps ask them about the phrase. In the create phase allows students to improvise and compose new music based on the elements that they have learned, or create new movements and new rhythms based on what they have learned. Overall, the Kodály method reinforces that music is innate in everyone and is very important to human beings. Music is natural and everyone should learn it because we're born with natural musical ability. The movements of Kodály method help reinforce everything that they are learning about the song.